much higher. Now, we've done some exploratory data analysis. You have some graphs that you can produce. And again, the good thing is that given that we have defined a target variable, we actually it actually produces plots showing the difference between converters and non-converters. So I'm going to go back to data, and where we kind of left off is we'd like to export this data set because we actually did do a little something to it with that transformation of generation clusters. So I'd like to export it into a CSV and maybe import it later on. So I want to make it a simpler name. So I'm going to call this iper.csv because these are internet purchase leads. Now I'm going to save this under EDA, browse folders, yes, here, right in EDA. So I'm going to save it here. So, and hopefully it's saving. Great. One last thing before I forget, in Explorer we did do one other thing, which was the correlations. So with the correlations, I'm going to go and do Pearson Correlations, and I'm going to hit the execute button. And this is going to show me which variables correlate with others of the continuous variables. Categorical variables are not included in this. So I get this wealth of information diagram, which when it finishes, I'm going to try to expand this just so I can try to see it. But again, we talked about correlations being extremely important because two variables that are highly correlated, they're basically telling the same information. So we know that when we do our modeling, one of those two are going to most likely go. If not both, because if they don't have any predictability with the target variable, which is converter, then they're both going to go. However, here we go. I'm going to try to expand this as much as I can. Let this think for a second so it expands. Okay. So again, if I focus right over here, I can see some dark blue. That is positive correlation. Dark red, negative correlation. So who is negative correlated? Donor percent and response insight, I believe, is the third one here. So those two, and income insight and response. Wealth insight and response insight are negative correlated. Extremely positive correlations would be net worth with income. So most people with a high net worth have a high net income. That seems to go hand in hand, although some people have made the money the old-fashioned way, which is inheriting it. So those will be some unusual observations within that relationship of net worth and income. People with very high net worth, but with low or no income. So that concludes this little tutorial. And we'll follow up with another one where we will discuss other things that we can do in R. So, yes.